A new study by the Joint Center for Housing Studies found that first-time home buyers are younger and more diverse than current homeowners. More than half of first-time buyers in 2017 were under the age of 35, and 65% of first-time buyers were white, 9% were black, 15% were Hispanic, and 11% were Asian or other. So with us now is Adam Mahfouda. He's the founder of Oxford Property Group. So that's good news.
It's great news.
Because we always hear about, oh, you know, young people aren't buying houses, they're putting it off because they have so much debt. So it's good to hear that young people are buying and there's a diverse group. But, you know, no matter where you come from or how old you are, you always want a deal. So give us some tips. Are there tips that you can give first-time home buyers to get, you know, a good property for a good price?
Of course. I think the first thing we tell people is just to be patient. A lot of people see houses for 2 or 3 weeks. They're ready to pull the trigger immediately, but take your time.
Yeah.
I think the second thing, consider buying a 2 or 3 family home. You could actually use the rental income from that property to pay some of the mortgage, so it gives you a little bit more in terms of your purchase price and spend. Yeah. Third thing, know that the interest on your mortgage up to $750,000 is actually tax deductible. So even though your monthly payment may be a little higher, at the end of the year, the annual amount that you're paying could be significantly less. And fourth thing, I think that's really important, a lot of people always go for the sort of the traditional 30-year fixed mortgage. You can actually save a good amount of money on a monthly basis if you're sort of doing a 10 or a 7-year ARM with an adjustable rate. Just know that if you're not going to stay there for sort of more than 5, 6, 7 years, then that might be a good option. If you're going to stay there for 30 years, definitely the safer route is to go for the 30-year fixed product.
Right. That's all good advice. You know, when people think about buying a house, they look at how much they're paying in rent, say, and they go, oh my gosh, I could be putting this sort of mortgage, but I'd never be able to figure out the financing. I don't know if I could get the down payment, closing costs. Any tips for getting your finances?
Of course. The first thing you should do, go to a bank, get a pre-approval. There's no charge. You'll give them your financial information. Also ask them about different programs available. There's certain grants depending on the neighborhoods that you're buying in. You may get $7,000 to $10,000 towards your closing costs. There's FHA products where you can put as little as 3% down. So you know, limiting your down payment to 3%, you know, you can really buy a nice property.
Yeah, that's such good advice, because there are all kinds of programs, and I think, you know, the thing about home buying is that people become very emotional about it.
For sure.
And that's one thing that you can't be.
For sure.
And when you take the emotion away, you realize, hey, there may be a fixer-upper, that there's a special loan for that'll help you pay for it, and you buy a house for undervalue, but by the time you move in, it's worth so much more. You got to sit down with your broker, essentially, right, and ask the questions.
For sure. And I think that just goes along with being patient. You know, if you see your first property, be patient. Maybe you're really excited about it, but there's something else that's going to come up that may be better than what you saw for the first time. So I think if you just are really patient, sort of take your, you know, look at all your finances, make sure you can afford it, and that's really what we encourage people to do.
What about shopping around? A mortgage broker, or because I think also what happens is people just go to the bank that maybe they got their car loan from and they kind of know the people.
Right.
And that doesn't necessarily mean you're getting the best deal.
No, definitely not. I think it's good to speak with multiple lenders, and even as a broker, talk to multiple brokers, talk to multiple agents, make sure you're comfortable. It's one of the biggest purchases you'll make in your life. And so, you know, we really, really encourage people to take their time with it so that they're very happy, you know.
Adam, all great advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.